Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Jess, and thank you for sticking around for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh. I'll be joined by Andrew Fillipponi over at the 93.7 The Fan Cam in just a matter of moments, and we're going to be talking about the battling Buccos who lost their second straight game, and St. Louis here tonight. They fall to 71-80, 11 games left. They need to go 6-5 to have a better record than last year, and I still think 77 wins is a failure for this team. But maybe the biggest story of the game, of the day today, is the Steelers and what's going over on at the South Side at Steelers HQ. They're dealing with a quarterback controversy, maybe an impending quarterback controversy. Justin Fields will get to start this week, and then we'll see what happens once Russell Wilson is healthy. I say you roll with Fields right now, but I've been hearing that, you know, there's some people around over there, Pony, that thinks that Russell Wilson will give them a better option at quarterback in this offense.
Well, first of all, Richie, good to see you on a Tuesday night. They installed a new light here at our studio, so I'm being blinded right now. That's why I have a golden glow about me.
It looks good on you, Pony.
Tonight on a Tuesday. Thank you. I forgot to put my makeup on, so hopefully this enhanced lighting will make me look better. Mike Tomlin loves when he is able to take a guy who's high on talent and make that player fit in his system. He loves that. He loves when he takes a guy and rehabs him and makes him complete and makes him much better. Justin Fields won only 10 games in Chicago. He's already won 2 games here. This is the first time ever in his entire career he's won back-to-back games without committing a turnover. Tomlin talked today about how one of the reasons why Fields' numbers aren't better is because they're not asking him to produce more. He's playing within the confines of their offense, which, yes, it's very conservative so far, but it didn't need to be explosive or aggressive because Denver was starting a bad rookie quarterback on Sunday, and Atlanta had Kirk Cousins making his first start off an Achilles tear. Okay, so I think that explains why Fields has been so careful with the football. That also speaks to Mike Tomlin's general philosophy that we saw with Trubisky and Pickett, where you don't want your quarterback to lose the game. You're not asking him so much to win it. So I don't understand why you would bench a 25-year-old quarterback with a lot of upside who could be your quarterback for several years when he is doing exactly what you're asking him to do. We've gotten a lot of good Justin Fields. In my opinion, we've seen no bad. He hasn't turned the ball over. He had fumbles at the beginning of the Atlanta game, and that was really the only huge negative plays that we've seen from him. I think that Justin Fields needs to play a bad game, and the Steelers have to lose before Russell Wilson goes in, regardless of health, Richie. You got to let this guy show you he's not up for the challenge before you just yank him out of the lineup.
I get your point, and I am with you on Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields can actually win you games, too. He's the most athletic guy over there on the South Side. But, you know, counterpoint is Russell Wilson has been here, done it before, and at some point you're going to need to score points. And I think maybe Russell Wilson right now might give you a better option at that.
Well, based on what, Richie? I mean,
I think he might be a better game manager for this offense. You know, I think, you know, they're telling Justin Fields not to throw over the middle of the field. Maybe with a veteran, you don't do that. You kind of unleash him a little bit. And that's all I'm saying is maybe this offense is more efficient. And I'm just going by what I heard, that maybe this offense would be more efficient with a guy like Russell Wilson right now. But look, I get what you're saying because Justin Fields potentially had 2 touchdowns called back. I mean, he threw some lasers down the field, and a couple penalties really hurt them. I mean, that game they could have scored 21 more points.
Yeah, I thought the offense in the first half was really good. In the second half, they knew that Denver couldn't win the game because of how bad their offense was, so they played not to lose. They took their foot off the gas. They went into a prevent offense in that game. Okay, you win ugly, you move on to the next week. This game against the Chargers, I think, is going to be the same thing. Run the ball and play defense. You know, so is Russell Wilson going to make it that much better? I'll tell you what, if I'm an opposing defense, I'm not worried about Russell Wilson beating me with his legs the same way that Justin Fields can, because he's got that calf injury. So even when he comes back and he's quote-unquote healthy, how much are they going to be willing to move him around and run him out there? I would guess not as much as they do now with Justin Fields. So before the season started, I was open-minded on Wilson. Hey, maybe he can still play well. But all along, I have thought it's in the Steelers' best interest long-term for Justin Fields to play well, to be given a chance to play well. And he's done that so far, and I'm not so enamored with Russell Wilson that I want to bench a guy who's winning just to see what he can do.
Do you think Justin Fields, if given the opportunity in a high-scoring game, that he could get it done for the Steelers? Do you think he could lead this, take away the penalties and them shooting themselves in the foot? Do you have faith in Justin Fields moving this offense down the field?
I mean, I don't really think there's a Steelers quarterback, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, who really is in a position to win a lot of high-scoring games. They don't have an offense, and it's not just the quarterback. They don't have an offense that's designed to do that. Their first-round pick from last year has been benched 2 games into the season. Their number 2 wide receiver is Van Jefferson, who had 14 receiving yards on Sunday. Their second-best tight end, Darnell Washington, great, he caught a touchdown pass, but he's more of a blocker, much more of a blocker, than he is a pass catcher. They're not really constructed to win high-scoring games, and whether that's Fields or Wilson, I honestly wouldn't hold it against either guy if they weren't able to compete in high-scoring games, because all the money's on defense, Richie. They're not really a team that has a blueprint to win high-scoring games. Teams like Kansas City do because of Mahomes and Kelsey and everything else. The Steelers don't have that.
This will be a big test this week. We got to take a break. I mean, it's the first time they're going to face a guy that can really run it on them, and that's their number 1 priority is stop the run. Let's see if they can do it against the Chargers. We're taking your phone calls coming up next. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our GMC tweet of the night. The Pittsburgh Pirates, no Bucktober in 2024, eliminated from playoff contention. Your Battling Buccos are 71-80, 11 games left. They need to win 6 games, Pony. I don't know if they could do it.
Hey, Richie,
1 game above 500 to have a better record than last year. What's up?
That's actually not accurate. They were eliminated last night because the Braves and Mets have to play each other 3 more games, so somebody would have won those games. So yes, now you look at the standings and they can't get to that win number, but they've actually been eliminated for more than 24 hours. So
yeah, and I actually think they've been eliminated for more than 24 days.
Yes.
Essentially.
I'd say Bucktober, you can just take it and rip it off the calendar and throw it in the recyclable bin, Richie. It ain't happening in 2024. Sorry.
All right. We got Steeler-tober right now, and we got Mike out in Evans City. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Rich Pony, how you doing?
Good, thanks for calling.
Hi, Mike.
I think we're worried about the wrong Wilson.
You're talking about Roman Wilson.
I think if we get Roman Wilson in there, that gives us another dynamic receiver with Pickens.
Here's the problem. Thanks a lot, Mike. I want to see Roman Wilson out here, but Pony, the problem right now, he's so far behind. He has just started practicing. I think that's going to take a couple weeks to get adjusted, and now you have another quarterback that's out there too. So I think it'll take a little bit of time to him get adjusted, but there's no question that the second receiver is a big priority for the Steelers right now. I don't know if they can go get someone, but Van Jefferson can't get separation. He obviously can't catch the ball, even though he practices after practice 300 balls. He dropped that one. It was one-handed, but a huge penalty, too, on a touchdown. So you have to upgrade that position, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do it this year.
Yeah, I'm not going to ding him for the one-handed catch because there was defensive pass interference on that play. That was not his fault. He got grabbed. That's why he wasn't able to catch the ball. But he's not a threat. He's not a weapon. He's not somebody that you worry about. If I'm the defensive coordinator in L.A. right now, Jesse Minter, I'm scheming up ways to lock down George Pickens and make the other wide receivers beat them on Sunday. That's what you got to do. And I know it's easier said than done because Pickens is such an explosive, athletic guy. He's such a freak of nature. But come on, I mean, you have to do that. Roman Wilson, I do believe, is better than what they're running out there right now. But when is Tomlin going to give him the chance? I say baptism by fire. I'd put him out there now. He can't do any worse than what Van Jefferson is doing, and give him a chance and hope that by the middle of the year or later in the year, he's a productive player.
All right, back out to the phone lines. We got Michael out in Beaver Falls. How you doing, Michael?
Pretty good. Hi, guys. How y'all doing?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Hey.
Hey, you guys are always doing good. You guys know more about football than anybody in the USA. But let me tell you something right now. Russell Wilson is going to be a good quarterback, but you know what? He is a little bit old, and I've always noticed that quarterbacks that make it to the playoffs, they can run. And this little guy that's the quarterback right now is a heck of a runner. We just need to build up our offensive line, get rid of Wilson, get some more guys in there that can protect the quarterback in the pocket, and I believe we'll have a great year, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Michael. I appreciate the call. Is there in any world that Justin Fields could be on the same level as a Patrick Mahomes? I mean,
no, he can't. He can't. He won't be. I mean, we would have seen more of that by now, even though I agree there were things that worked against him and prevented him from being good in Chicago. But he won't get to Mahomes' level. And Mahomes has not been great yet this year. He only threw for 150 yards last week against Cincinnati. So you want to get on Fields' case for not throwing for a bunch of yards. Mahomes isn't doing it yet either. So, yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen. Can he be a league average or better NFL quarterback? Absolutely. And he can absolutely be one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the entire league. Can he get to a level like Jalen Hurts a couple of years ago?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yes, I think so. I don't think that's out of the question. That team had a great offensive line, and that's why this Broderick Jones thing bothers me so much. If he's injured, then treat him like an injured player. Rest him. Don't make him practice every day. Shut him down or something. They made him play the entire preseason. They haven't given him a rep off from practice. If his arm isn't healthy, Richie, then let him heal it. Let him rest it, okay?
You know,
I'm sick of that.
Pony, I don't know if you saw the interview I did with him in the locker room after the game, and he flat out told me that he wasn't injured. I asked him. I said, is there anything bothering you? Are you injured? Is there something? What's wrong? And he said, no, he's not injured. I actually just think it's a mental thing right now for him because he's demoted.
Yeah, well, I've never seen anything like 3 penalties in 6 plays. And I've never seen a guy go in rotating like it's a substitution thing like with defensive linemen. That was so bizarre from Tomlin. I think maybe he was worried about the altitude with Fautanu. That's what he tried to say today, I think. But still, backed up on your own 1-yard line, you're going to put Broderick Jones in. I get flashbacks and nightmares to the way that they've screwed up other offensive linemen lately. And I'm concerned that he's going to be the latest one here, Richie, because of bad coaching, whose career gets derailed because they weren't able to develop him in the proper way.
All right, speaking of bad coaching, let's go out to Bob in Baldwin. How you doing, Bob?
Hey, rough game. I don't understand the mismanagement of Shelton, of how he orchestrates his lineup. How do you have Bart, who's a catcher, batting third, McCutcheon batting fourth with a bad leg, and you have Dela Cruz batting sixth? It's painful to watch this.
Bart might be their best hitter right now in this lineup. I mean, you know, the Pirates are an afterthought for me right now, Pony. I hate to even say it. You know, this whole month has really got me down on the Buccos.
Well, look, when it's all said and done this year, they weren't a good hitting team, and they weren't a good pitching team. And people might say, well, Pony, what do you mean pitching? Look at some of these starting pitchers. Go look at their team ERA. Their ERA is so bad because of how awful their bullpen has been. Bullpens are pitching more than ever before. Starters aren't going deep into games like they used to. So your bullpen is almost as important as your starting pitching. Not quite, but close. So bad bullpen and bad lineup equals bad team. And that's what they are ever since the trade deadline over the last month and a half. One of the worst teams in all of baseball. It's a horrible ending to a season that once had promise. It's a major step backwards, and I think changes need to be made. You can't just say, we're making progress, give us more time after this year, which included a healthy O'Neal Cruz and Paul Skeens for most of the season.
How is it progress? I don't even think you could say it. I don't even think they're going to have the same record as last year. I don't see progress. Look at David Bednar. I mean, can he come back to the player that he was? I don't see exactly what you said. How can you run it back next year? Same people. Something's got to change. There has to be a change. And Bob Nutting better add to this team in the offseason.
Well, go position by position. Henry Davis had a horrible year. O'Neal Cruz, now he hit great. I mean, not great, but he had a good season at the plate. They made him change positions. He's not even a shortstop anymore. Ke'Bryan Hayes, absolutely awful. Jack Sawinski demoted to the minor leagues. Center field, major problems where Michael A. Taylor, you put him on waivers, no one wanted him. You give Reynolds credit for what he did in left field, but at most positions, guys who you thought would be part of your future, especially Davis, Sawinski, and Hayes, have all been atrocious. I mean, and pitchers have made strides. Obviously, Skeens, Jared Jones in your rotation. Luis Ortiz had a good year. But your lineup is in a state of disarray going into next season, Richie. How many guys are they going to have back offensively that you can count on? Reynolds, Cruz, I guess Joey Bart, thinking he can do it again. Maybe Nick Gonzalez.
IKF.
You can count him on one hand.
Nick York,
IKF,
maybe there's.
I guess.
Yeah. You need a first baseman.
You can't count on Nick York. He played his first game tonight.
Hey, I'm just saying. Maybe there is something there. Well, you need an outfielder. You need a first baseman. They need to get a couple big free agents. They need that, like you said, they need middle relievers. There's no question about it, and potentially a closer. We're going to take a break. Back in a couple minutes. All right, now it's time to turn things over to Ken Rice to find out what's coming up on KDKA News at 11. Ken?
Rich, tonight a senior high-rise dealing with an infestation of mice. Plus, when Donald Trump is returning to this area for his next rally, and local scientists explain a unique effort to study lanternflies. All coming up in a few minutes here. See you at 11, Rich.
All right, see you in a couple minutes, Pony. We don't have a lot of time left. I want your prediction for this week. Two of the best defenses. I think another low-scoring game. I like a 19-13 Steelers win.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I like the Steelers, too. The Chargers staying in Charlotte on the East Coast. They didn't want to go all the way back to L.A. I think we see Fields run for 3 touchdowns.
Whoa!
In this game on Sunday. Yeah.
That's big. All right, well, I'm going to hold you to it, Pony. Thanks for your time. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Hopefully we see you guys on KDKA News right now.